So as I am trying to be more real and in real time for you, I just finished watching my first live premiere. Well, it's not a live, it's pre-recorded, but it's called a premiere on YouTube. And that's where the creator has scheduled to watch their video with you. So you can chat with them while they're there, which is pretty cool. And it's neat. I guess I realized, oh, that's gotta be neat to be watching yourself and your friends are watching you at the same time. That's really cool. So I have watched it. I watched Aspergers from the Inside, Managing Your Own Energy in Person and Online. So I just had one of those moments. The shuffle's happening again. As I watched it, I was answering I was having a conversation with him. So I'm going to watch it again and film myself doing exactly what I did. I'm guaranteed to expand on whatever I came up with the first time. Never do something the same way twice. It's got to be better the next time. It's just the way I roll, man. Just the way I roll. Okay. Sliding the computer over. And
hi everyone, welcome back to Aspergers from the Inside. You're here with Paul. I make weekly videos sharing the human side of autism, so make sure you hit subscribe to get the latest content. So a question I was thinking about recently is, how do you manage your own energy? So this is a big question that a lot of us ask, and especially with changes to the whole world recently with COVID, and all of a sudden everything, well, literally everything is online, and social events are cancelled, travel is cancelled, Zoom is the world to a lot of people, and for some of us this is great. I'm not expected to socialise so much anymore. I can quite easily do what I need to do at home, whether that's, stay in pajama bottoms all day and be professional on the top, or maybe it's just again, doing whatever you need. Taking a power nap in the middle of the day is one of my favourite ones that I can always do now, because I don't have to worry about going into work and back. But at the same time, what about how the world is slowly opening up? In Australia, in Melbourne at least, we have been able to actually visit each other in person for the first time in a long time. We had about 5 or 6 months last year where that was just completely impossible. And over Christmas time, I had a social event pretty much every day with family for such a long time. And in one sense, it was really nice to actually see people again. And in another sense, wow, that was exhausting. I had completely forgotten what it was like to go out in public and speak to people all day.
we've been self-isolated for years, and socially, because I have created, I've customized our environment ever since Ruby was born. Even though I never gave it a name, it was clear from when she was tiny that she was a lot like her mom and she was special, and that was gonna require some special adjustments, and so I made them. But what that has meant also is that her entire life, because I've customized to suit those needs, she hasn't had the same kinds of social interactions and lived with the same expectations that others have. It's what's so awesome about her. But in doing that, I've also created, inadvertently, I have totally healed myself by healing my daughter, by giving her, and healed myself is the wrong term because that could be completely misconstrued. But when I say healed myself, I mean of the chaos and because that's what autism feels like, is chaos. And chaos becomes physical pain if it's not managed. And that's a real unfortunate crossover characteristic of stress. So yes, I can see where Paul was going, thinking ahead with post-COVID. People are probably adapting their lifestyles right now to make the best of their cocoons. I should hope by now they've done that part. So once you've created your cocoon, it's really hard to come out of it. Tell me about it. When I turned up to watch a live premiere, that's the first thing I've shown up for at a predetermined time with someone who doesn't live in this house in months. And it felt significant. Now, again, we're the exception to the rule, but this is the thing about being the exception to the rule, because we've been self-isolated for years, is that we are well past these hurdles and we're actually living our best life. We still have to figure out how we're going to pay for it. That's the easy part, to be quite honest with you. The money, if you don't focus on the money and instead you focus on all the things that are going to make you your best self, like a comfortable environment, like if you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, for me, that's when I have a busy brain, any of my stages where my brain is busy, headgear, hats, sunnies, my headphones. I love my headphones. When I've got music in my ears, I can function far better than when I can hear the outside noise, is the honest truth. Because everything is an unexpected sound, which means I've got to process each of those sounds, and it's just too much. So the headphones, my instincts tell me what to do, and that works really, really well for me. See, I take it further, and this is from having had a lot of experience over the past few years, especially since Ruby's autism diagnosis. Then I became really consciously proactive about learning as much as I could about the resources that matter, like the issues that are affecting her mental health have been my entire focus. So we've got sensory things all over the house. Our yard is laid out like a little village so she can explore, and I made her a parkour, and now as we're building the eco structure, the wee shed, I called it that because I like to say it because it makes me laugh, and if it makes me laugh, it's got to be a good thing, right? I wish I could name all the streets in the world and the babies. Okay, I digress. So I'm physically pointing in the direction of the structure. So our eco structure is in the middle of our parkour. I had to work that in because that's our route. I mean, I can't completely rebuild the city for the structure. So we've been working on that. But I'm sure as you listen to me, you're thinking, okay, she's got a different way of doing things. And I do, because I have been customizing our world to our needs, and we are both on the spectrum, which means we both have sensory issues, and we each have different issues, as I've learned. So I've customized differently for each of us. The anxiety part about getting out into public, Paul has... It's funny, when you hear someone else talk about a subject that you know very well, but they frame it differently. I'm all about reframing, changing frames at the moment. My brain is reframing everything. But he framed the subject differently than the way I usually think about it. And I like that because it was framed differently. My mind accessed different files than it normally would. So a different perspective actually allowed me to remember things that I don't necessarily have at the forefront of my brain all the time. And that's always a really nice, familiar feeling. So I have no idea what I'm talking about. Let's watch some more of Paul.
Completely forgotten. So I guess my question for you, and leave your answer in the comments, is how do you deal with that? How do you deal with, number one, the massive change of going from outside to inside and life being online and then back in real life and then lockdown and then outside again? And also, I know for me, it's completely rewired how I manage my energy, because I know how tiring some things can be. And I now, for example, don't go to the supermarket without my headphones, because I've realized the huge difference between not having that sensory overload and getting into this, like the difference seems to be a lot bigger to me. And similarly, going out to restaurants, and I've just noticed that if I do what I did before, my energy goes all the way down really, really quickly. And I don't know how I survived previously, because I've got so many more strategies that I employ now because I learned how to manage my energy being forced to stay at home.
That's interesting. Managing your energy. I wouldn't have used that term to define the strategies that I now employ always, all the time for Ruby and I, but that's exactly what they are, so that you're able to do whatever you are focused on to do it best. And the headphones. The headphones are A1, number one. When I have a really, really, really busy brain, I actually like the feeling of a bit of pressure on it. And this sounds crazy, so I love hats. I also like hats to keep the light out. I started that living in Australia. You just learn about sun safety in Australia, and sunscreen, and proper eyewear, and eyewear. I have, and I saw Paul's video the other night. Sorry, Aspergers from the inside. He's got the yellow tinted. Well, I went one step further because I have prescription glasses, and mine have that slight yellow tint. I've got to find the little card to share it. They make these lenses in Japan, and I didn't believe they would be that great until I got these. And I've got all sorts of other really cool glasses, but they don't have these lenses, and these are the ones that I find just, there aren't as many things dancing around that shouldn't be, that aren't dancing to the same song as me. If we're dancing to the same song, let's dance. Okay, so where did I go? Where did I start? Back to where I was saying. So headphones, yes. Pressure on the head. Hats are awesome for more than just sun safety. Big brim. Ruby is a big brim. She's extremely photosensitive, and to go anywhere, we need the, I joke, we've got the sombreros, but that's basically it. And I don't think society understands how painful it is for these kids who have photosensitivity. It's impossible for them to focus when they're so sensitive to light. It's just absolutely impossible. So her bedroom is a cocoon. I gave her a fake wall from, with a covered a bookshelf. Oh gosh. I have to turn the camera. You have to see. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take a picture of this. I paused his video on this like 1980s wait. Am I doing it? I don't know, you can't see it, but I can. I don't have my phone to take a picture of it. Ruby has it. Oh, you just have to take my word for it, or maybe I'll just have to edit that out. Who knows? We'll see what I decide when the time comes. So, back on focus. Big brim if you're photosensitive, but any hat that puts pressure on the head, or I wear hairbands as well. You'll notice that I've constantly got a hairband on if I'm really busy, something on the head. And then when you take it off, there's this release. And half of the strategy of wearing it is to be able to take it off when you need to feel a release. It sounds crazy, but I mean, I've got more stress that I manage than anyone I've ever met in my life. And I'm pretty happy most of the time. So obviously something is working for me. Okay. I incorporate into my wardrobe always some kind of, it never used to be an always, it became that recently, fanny pack, or this is a flip belt. And I keep my phone there so that I can have my music on, and I still look pretty normal, right? But there's my phone right in there playing my quiet music in the background. I mean, you might not be able to do that in an office or whatever, but those in-between times, or the truth is we need to change culture. We need to make this normal. We need it to be culturally accepted that if somebody's got headphones on, it just means now's not a good time. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing. It just requires us being respectful of one another's boundaries. I'm gonna watch some more of Paul. Release him from that face.
So I'm curious to hear your experience with that. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. See you next week. Okay. Oh wait, I talked to everybody. Why not? Talk to the dog, talk to the birds. Where was I gonna go with this? So strategies. Gum. We've got to get rid of this social taboo about gum and just behave responsibly with it. Or, I don't know, I do worry about I don't know how earth-friendly it is. I just know that chewing gum for me is, it really, really helps me to focus when, especially, those times when you want to get the work done, but all the other sounds are a bit louder than you, and you have no control over that. That's when the gum comes in handy. So I guess when the headphones aren't acceptable, can maybe the gum be acceptable? If we all understand that this is just, people dealing with change, and they've been through something that was unexpected and that was traumatic for a lot of people. What else did I want to? So, I've got all sorts of other strategies, but I'm tired and they're not coming to mind right now. But they will be in there. It's all in the mix. I was not invited to do this. I did not ask permission, and I might get in trouble, but I did it anyway. Sorry, Paul. I hijacked your video because I felt like I could add to it. I hope you liked my contribution. Thumbs up? I think that was it. Dancing. Dancing fixes everything. It does. Because it's like making music better. And how do you make music better? You dance. And that's like the best feeling in the world.